The world seemed to Maurice to be full of ghost white just before dawn, when it was just bright. Bright enough to see things, but not bright enough to see colours. He sat up and washed himself. There were rats and humans running around very, very slowly. It didn't concern him much. Whatever it was they thought they had to be doing, they were doing it. But the people were rushing around in a silent, ghostly way, and Maurice was not. This seemed a pretty good arrangement, and his eye didn't hurt, and his skin wasn't painful, and his paws weren't torn, which was a big improvement on matters as they stood recently. Now he came to think about it, he wasn't quite sure what had happened recently. Something wretchedly bad, obviously. There was something Maurice-shaped lying beside him, like a three-dimensional shadow. He stared at it, and then turned when this soundless ghost whirled. He heard a noise. There was movement near the wall. A small figure was striding across the floor towards the tiny lump that was Dangerous Brains, and it was rat-sized. But it was much more solid than the rest of the rats, and unlike any rat he'd ever seen before, it wore a black robe. A rat in clothes, he thought. But this one did not belong to Mr. Bundybuck. Just poking out from the hood of the robe was the bony nose of a rat skull. And it was carrying a tiny scythe over its shoulder. The other rats and humans who were drifting back and forth with buckets paid it no attention. Some of them walked right through it. The rat and Maurice seemed to be in a separate world of their own. It's the bone rat, thought Maurice. It's the grim squeaker. He's come for Dangerous Beans. After all I've been through, this is not happening. He sprang into the air and landed on the bone rat. The little scythe skidded across the floor. "Hi, mister. Let's hear you talk," Maurice began. Squeak! "Here," said Maurice, as the horrible awareness of what he'd done caught up with him. A hand grabbed him by the back of the neck and lifted him up higher and higher, and then turned him around. Maurice stopped struggling immediately. He was being held by another figure, much taller, human size, but with the same style of black robe, a much bigger size and a definite lack of skin around the face. Strictly speaking, there was a considerable lack of face about the face, too. It was just bone. "Desist from attacking my associate, Maurice," said Death. "Yes, sir, Death. Yes, sir. No, sir. At once, sir," said Maurice quickly. "No problem, sir." "I haven't seen you lately, Maurice." "No, sir," said Maurice, relaxing slightly. "Be very careful, sir. Looking both ways when I cross the street and everything, sir." "And how many have you left now?" "6, sir. 6. Very definitely 6 lives, sir." Death looked surprised. "But you were run over by a cart only last month, weren't you?" "That, sir, barely grazed me, sir. Got away with hardly a scratch, sir." "Exactly." "Oh." That makes 5 lives, Maurice, up until today's adventure. You started with 9. "Fair enough, sir, fair enough, yeah." Maurice swallowed. "Oh, well, might as well try. So let's say I'm left with 3, right?" 3? I was only going to take 1. You can't lose more than 1 life at a time, even if you're a cat. That leaves you 4, Maurice." "And I say take 2, sir," said Maurice urgently. 2 are mine, and call it quits." Death and Maurice looked down at the faint, shadowy outline of Dangerous Brains. Some other rats were standing around him now, picking him up. "Are you sure?" said Death. "After all, he is a rat." "Yes, sir. That's where it gets all a little bit complicated, sir." "You can't explain?" "Yes, sir. Don't know why, sir. Everything's been a bit odd lately, sir." "That is very uncat-like of you, Maurice. I'm amazed. I'm pretty shocked too, sir. I just hope no one finds out, sir. Death lowered Maurice to the floor, next to his body. You leave me little choice. The sum is correct. Even though it is amazing, we came for two, and two we shall take. The balance is preserved. Can I ask a question, sir? Said Maurice, as Death turned to go. You may not get an answer. I suppose there isn't like a big cat in the sky, is there? I'm surprised at you, Maurice. Of course there are no cat gods. That would be too much like work. Maurice nodded. One good thing about being a cat, apart from the extra lives, was that theology was a lot simpler. I'm not going to remember all this, though, will I, sir? He said. It'll just be too embarrassing. Of course not, Maurice.